This unique model of strategy, design, engineering, and innovation within the product engineering methodology, combined with lean cross-functional pods and certain accelerators and blueprints which enable all these phases to operate seamlessly together, is what powers our product engineering practice. So in terms of the experience which has to be created, how do we go around that? So it starts off with classically design thinking process, where we identify all the different users and not just the direct consumers of that particular product, but also the other folks that we were talking about who are indirectly contributing to that product and creating that total experience. So given the needs and goals of these folks, how do we then identify what are the solutions to that which results in superior experience? And that's where the design thinking process starts off with empathy, etc. And identifying those and coming up with solutions results in creation of classically journeys. And then the task comes in of mapping those journeys to the various touch points. And what we see right now is there's a lot of digital touch points which are emerging, not just the conventional ones like web and mobile, but also going into AR, VR, conversation interfaces, etc. So once these journeys are mapped onto the various touch points which are there, the next task which comes in is identifying the product lines. Because you can't have a single product, it typically makes sense to start grouping those products by certain common flows, common features, etc. And these are the typical product lines which are there. But again, what happens often is that these product lines tend to operate in silos and they don't talk to each other. And the problem with that is that it's not an ecosystem of product lines, rather they're siloed products which are operating in their own space. And that results in ultimately lesser value creation. And that's where the importance of platformization comes in, because if you develop a common platform, then the common platform will power all the different product lines together. And it will also connect them together because the usage patterns and the data is being gathered from all the individual products and is being aggregated within the platform, which can then be used to power personalization in a seamless fashion across all the product lines together. Identification of this is the first stage that we call as strategy within product engineering. So once we identify the user needs and goals and map it into product lines powered by a common platform, which is the strategy part of product engineering, the next stage that we go on to is the design side of product engineering. And here there are two distinctive activities that we look at. One is in terms of the experience side of it, and that is where we do activities such as rapid prototyping or even development of an MVP, testing it out with a subset of users and identifying is the experience still as good as what we envisaged in the strategy part. The second side of it is more into the core platform architecture itself. And that is where typically we do activities such as solution architecture. And here we tend to focus on more modern cloud native style of architecture with distributed systems all operating together seamlessly. And also what is the corresponding tech stack which is required to make that happen, where you would need to pick up the technologies which are complementing those purposes that you have identified in the architecture. So these two activities together contribute into the design side of it, which then makes it ready for engineering side of things. On the engineering side of things, it starts off with identifying the product increments, standard agile practices which are there, and it's all about enabling a continuous delivery mindset. And for that, what is key is to have this concept of everything is code. Because once you have everything as code, any aspects, be that on the application data or the infrastructure side of things, it truly enables you to do automation by using DevSecOps concepts. And then that allows you to release fast, release continuously with confidence, as well as enable SRE practices through observability. So few of the problem statements within product engineering are things which do not fit into the direct model where there are known problems or relatively known problems, and there should be a different approach of how these problems are tackled. And that's where we have what we call as this innovation model. And how is this different? Because there could be certain unknown problem statements for which you may not even be aware of what the best solutions are. But at the same time, we need to take a more measured, data-driven approach towards identifying solutions rather than having it as an ad hoc activity. And that's where we focus on having a lean startup model, which is essentially based on hypotheses and creating experiments around those and measuring the outcomes of those experiments, and then rapidly pivoting in case either whether they succeed or whether they fail, so that you can move on to the next hypothesis. And the outcomes of these things can then be used for further improving your products.